guard you from harm, from sin, from evil. That when we are fasting, we're protected. And we are to uphold that shield. Because the moment we let go of it, we drop it, then we become vulnerable to the harms around us, to the evil that's happening around us. We become more accepting when it comes to sinning. So you will uphold your fast as long as you do not sin. Rasulullah he mentions that when you're fasting, quite often what happens is we'll always focus more on things to do in Ramadan, things to do. It's always, you're, mashallah, recite as much as Quran as you want. You can do that, bismillah, by all means. Pray as many additional nawafil. You can do that by all means. But sometimes we forget that there's also a few things that we should be very careful about whilst we're fasting. And that is keeping our tongue pure. Keeping our tongue clean. Free from words of slander, words of curse, words of similar nature. That if we don't do that, we're dropping that shield that Allah granted to us of being able to protect ourselves. So when a man who goes on and still vilifies someone else whilst he's fasting, what good would the fast do to him? When a person goes on and starts to speak ill about others or behind people's back and he's fasting, what good would that do to you? When a person goes on and starts to argue with people, Prophet Allah even mentions this scenario. If someone comes to you while he is in the mood of arguing with you, what do you tell them? Subhanallah, that I am fasting. I am sorry. I won't refute what you're saying. I won't get into this. Subhanallah. Throughout the entire year people argue anyways. But the pressure, it builds up in the month of Ramadan. Everyone's in the mood of arguing. So simply tell the individual that I am fasting. I do not wish to engage in such a discussion. So keep yourself to yourself. Keep your tongue to yourself. Make sure no one is hurt by your words, no one is hurt by your actions. Even so, no one is hurt by your presence. You want to be a person who is welcoming. You want to be a person who people would like to spend their time with you, without leaving with a heavy heart. So you want to be like that. So in the month of Ramadan, we also need to focus not only upon ourselves, but see that how is my environment influenced because of my actions. So as I'm fasting, am I kind, generous, polite to others? Am I making the best of my fast? I'm fasting anyways, so I should keep everything about myself in check. Just as how I'm refraining from eating and drinking, Prophet Allah mentioned himself that Siyam is not just not eating and not drinking. It's also being mindful of Allah, not saying anything wrong to anyone else, not hurting someone else. So all of these things come into the picture. And it's something which, it gives us a sense of becoming better for the next year around. And subhanAllah, if we are able to do that much, if we are able to maximize the benefit of our fast during this month, then you are able to continue on with that routine even afterwards. So if you can keep your tongue in control for 1 month, glad tidings be for you. You can do it, mashallah. It's not that it's impossible. So you can do that for the next 11 months as well. If you can gain the closeness of Allah in the month of Ramadan, then mashallah, what a lucky person you are. It's not that you can't do it. You can. You just proved it. It's just sometimes you become lazy. You don't want to continue. So the excuse goes out the window when people say it's too hard, it's difficult. No, if you're able to do it in the month of Ramadan, that means you can carry it on. And quite often, it's just, Ramadan is here, mashallah. Not that I'm against any of the suhoor or the iftar, but let's be moderate within our approach as well. We have, mashallah, so often, so many iftar events, and as we attend, sometimes we end breaking the commands of Allah in the iftar that we're having. So what good did the fast do to you? That you're opening your fast by breaking a few commands of Allah. And sometimes, even if you happen to be in the right circle and you have all the commands of Allah in mind, you will end up overeating to an extent that nobody wants to go for Taraweeh anymore. And if you're lucky enough that you have someone who's able to recite the Quran within your iftar, you'll simply say, you know what, mashallah, lucky us that you're here today, just lead Taraweeh here. Just lead a few rakahs here at home. So the effect of overeating goes a long way. It takes the benefit of your fasting of the day, and then it will ruin your ibadah during the night. I mean, just for 1 month, more often, we end up gaining weight in the month of Ramadan than losing it. Isn't that the case? Right? We end up gaining more weight in the month of Ramadan, and whereas we're supposed to, in fact, we're supposed to lose weight. And in reality, we were to gain more ajr, more deeds, and lose sins. But what happens? You know, may Allah forbid, if the opposite happens, then what good did the month of Ramadan do to us? It's not just about suhoor and iftar. It's not just about imsak, preventing yourself from eating and drinking. There's much more to it. It's one of those ibadahs that Allah mentions Himself, that when son of Adam, he performs or she performs any act of virtue, any ibadah, Kiram and Katibin, they note that down. That this man, this brother, this sister, they performed 2 rakahs of nawafil today. They gave $10 in sadaqah. They smiled at another person. So they note that down. But when it comes that I fast for the day, the angels are confused. What do we write? Allah mentions, leave it. As-sawmu li wa ana ajzi'u bi. This act of fasting, it is only for me and only I can reward the individual. You won't know what to write. What do you write? The numbers are too much for you. So the angels don't know what to write when it comes to the reward. Allah mentions this one ibadah, it is entirely for me. Now, when a person is praying salah, a person happens to pass by, oh mashallah, he's in salah, okay, he moves on. A person is fasting, just sitting there, or he's working. No one knows if this man is in ibadah or not except Allah. Or do you have like a siyam detector or something? You're beeping, okay, he's fasting, it's beeping higher there. It's beeping higher there. So, this is one of those ibadah that it's hidden in plain sight. And that's what Allah loves the most. Why is it that tahajjud has been given such preference? You know, pray salah whilst the world is asleep. This is what Rasulullah has taught us regarding tahajjud. You know, when nasu niyam, that when people are asleep, get up before Allah and pray salah. No one knows what you're doing, and that's when you'll rekindle your connection with Allah. It's, you know, experience has it by our elders and by our scholars that no friend of Allah has become a friend of Allah, but he's done it through tahajjud, through a voluntarily effort. And one of the reasons why tahajjud is given such importance, no one knows that you're praying. No one knows. You've stood up before Allah in the darkness of the night and you're calling out to Him. Likewise, when you're fasting, no one knows if you're fasting or not. And Allah has told the angels, leave it be. I myself personally will give this individual the reward that he deserves upon the day of judgment. How many doors to Jannah are there? How many doors to Jahannam? 7. One of the doors to Jannah by the name of Bab al-Rayyan. What's it for? What's al-Rayyan for? The door of al-Rayyan. Only a set of people will be able to enter through that door into Jannah. It's reserved for those who would fast. Only for the people who would fast. So people who had a habit of fasting, they are granted admission into Jannah from that door. I'll explain it in this manner. When we go sightseeing, for example, let's take the example of Niagara Falls. You know, there are different view angles to look at the falls. And some angles have a better view than the other. So it's, you know, it's commonly known as a notion that the view that you get from the US border is not much in comparison when you cross the border and you're in Canada and you're looking at the falls on the opposite side, falling into the US. It's a much more pleasantful, much more broader picture. So it's a better view. Now that's, you know, these are 2 angles. There's another angle you can go to and look at the fall. It'll look much more beautiful to you. Likewise, Jannah, you have these angles to look at Jannah. You walk in through Ar-Rayyan, whoa, how beautiful is this Jannah. You walk through another door, whoa, what a view. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just to give us an idea So wouldn't you want the privilege to be able to look at Jannah from all the doors? Wouldn't you want to know what a view of Jannah is from Ar-Rayyan, from As-Salat, from Abab As-Sadaqah? If so, then become a man who does all as much as possible. Give as much as sadaqah as possible. Give as much as, pray as often as you can. Fast as much as you can. So that you get all these angles of Jannah, inshallah, when we are allowed to enter into Jannah through the will of Allah. I'll end here on another note, something to keep in mind. If we can't gain the closeness of Allah in the month of Ramadan, I don't know when we can. If we cannot gain the closeness of Allah and become attached to the Deen and the Quran in the month of Ramadan, I'm just not sure when we can. So Allah is presenting us this opportunity. Allah is presenting it. Some people, they would die for an opportunity to be presented to them. Think about this. If you are told your time is near, you won't see the month of Ramadan, you would beg Allah, you would do everything you can in your ability to just, oh Allah, push my time into Ramadan at least. Just into Ramadan. Wouldn't we say that? Wouldn't we hope for that? Here Allah is presenting us that opportunity without any price. Should we overlook it? Should we just brush it to a side, sweep it underneath the carpet? It's okay, it's just another Ramadan. Make the best of it. Because if we cannot gain the closeness of Allah in this month, if we cannot get in touch with the Quran of Allah in this month, if we cannot learn about Rasulullah ﷺ in this month, then when will we ever learn? When will we ever learn? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala really open our eyes, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the right understanding of His deen, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala